You are about to see presentations by the UCSC Common Ground Center's Collaborative Learning students at the Kresge Town Hall on Tuesday, December 9th, 2014. The students in these community action teams are presenting on projects that they carried out over the 2014 fall quarter. For more information, visit kresge.ucsc.edu/common ground.
Good afternoon, y'all. I guess this time here, it's more like the evening. I'm Wyatt.
I'm Natasha.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Kendra. I'm Chelsea, and we're going to talk about youth empowerment through community gardening, which was hosted by a program called the Global Student Embassy.
Cool. So I'm just going to introduce Global Student Embassy. I'm the program coordinator for Global Student Embassy here in Santa Cruz County, and Global Student Embassy's mission is to empower youth to become young leaders through teaching them and creating opportunities for them to become environmental stewards, social innovators, and community leaders. We work in collaboration with international peers who are participating in similar projects year-round in Ecuador and Nicaragua. And so together, we generate and implement community-based solutions to shared ecological concerns across these boundaries.
So, with our community gardening, we take about 1/7 of an acre plot, and on each of our campuses, on both Harbor High and Santa Cruz High. Harbor High is a little bit more developed right now than Santa Cruz High. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. So Santa Cruz High is kind of in the beginning stages. We just got approval today to build our garden, and it's been kind of a quarter-long process, all kinds of good stuff going on, but we finally got approved. And if any of you have walked by Laurel Street and seen the kind of softball fields out there, we're actually going to be turning that plot of land into a life-sustaining growing garden. So, and Harbor High actually already has that going on right now, and it's just abundant with vegetables and flowers and all kinds of seasonal things. So, yeah. So with our outdoor classrooms, it's actually proven that today in our kind of discombobulated technology advanced society, like how deeply involved we are with our technology, we've kind of forgotten about our outdoor roots. And the mission of our gardens is to actually take our students back to a time when historically we would have been outdoors with our family, building on our farm or that kind of a thing, and it puts us outdoors so that we actually have an opportunity to do that.
So taking kids out and having them garden and just do the basic gardening activities can really do a lot more than we may think. You know, it obviously teaches, empowers students to be able to grow their own garden, do their own compost, know more about the plants that they're growing and the foods that they're eating. And it also can help cultivate skills that will hopefully create the next, people that are going to be working on our global environmental problems that are so important right now. And interactive gardening programs also foster lifelong benefits, which include positive interpersonal and community skills, self-efficiency, enhanced stewardship, connection and love for our planet and our natural world, more positive attitudes towards learning, because it's a much less structured environment than a normal classroom is. Gives students the power to take back their own learning. It also helps with healthy eating habits and just more emphasis and importance on the foods that you're putting in your body, because we live in a grocery store culture where we don't necessarily follow the path that our food goes on from farmer to, distributor to plate, and by growing our own foods and learning about that, we can give food a higher importance in our lives. And by starting at that at a young age, that will be lifelong beneficial.
Okay, so we had our first event to raise money for our trip to Ecuador, which was this past Friday, and it was really cool because a lot of the kids, like, they showcased their artwork and stuff like that. And then we also called different local communities to raise money and see if they wanted to donate for this event. And yeah, it was really cool, and we had a really good turnout. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so here's.
On Saturday, I took out 2 students and we were driving around campus. I'm not sure if any of you guys bought tamales from them. And they had a really good turnout. They were just standing around Porter, College A, and a lot of people bought it. It was really fun.
We went around all the dorms and knocked on. And yeah, a lot of people bought, so.
Cool. So to recap a little bit the kind of history of our projects, the Harbor High Bro Quad has been established for just over a year now, and the Santa Cruz High Garden program is just starting to get established. We actually just got approval to move forward on the program several days ago, which is super exciting. So we're converting a big piece of land in a super visible, highly central location here in Santa Cruz together. And I would like to invite you all to come and participate in this process. It's going to be an awesome thing. We also, with the faculty support of David Shaw, we just received another $6,000 from the UCSC Carbon Fund for this project, on top of the $5,000 we received last year for the Harbor High Grow Quad project. That's $11,000 that we hold for these garden projects to support with material donations and project development. So please, by all means, we have the resources. The only thing we're lacking is your presence and the community's presence in supporting this project. So come out Tuesdays after school to Santa Cruz High from 1:30 to 3:50. Throw down some work days, and Harbor High Schools keep posted. We'll let you know. We also have after school work days and monthly community work days. So thank you.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. My name is Juliet.
My name is Liz.
And my name is Rain. And our CAT is Sustainable Community and Conscious Living. Woo! Raise your hand actually if you are a freshman who's in that class. I know there are some of you in here. Raise them high. Woo woo! Yeah. Okay, before we start, I just want to shake up the energy a little bit. So if everyone could just stand up really quick. And then take a big inhale up. Slow down. And then inhale up. And a sigh. All right, now you can sit down. Now you're probably paying attention better. Okay, great. So this is our CAP, Sustainable Community and Conscious Living.
So, some things that we focused on in our CAD were learning and practicing skills for facilitation. We also took a look at what it means to be a mentor and the journey of mentorship, as well as how to be a mentor.
Another focus of our CAT was lesson planning within curriculum building, and the focuses that we used for those practices was within conscious living and sustainability that Juliet was teaching in her class.
Okay, so what's this class all about? So the class is a class for incoming freshmen in Kresge, and they are all a part of something called the Eco Village, which they applied to live in. We're supposed to have more intentional community building, sustainability, all those things. So this is classes for them, and we come together once a week on Wednesdays, and we use the structure of the chopper system throughout the quarter to go deeper and build community and reflect on small level to great level. So how are we living most consciously and most sustainably with ourselves on an individual levels? And we did many practices engaging in that, as well as in community and relationship with those close to us and in our community. And we had a lot of different activities, reflections, discussions. We actually had to look each other in the eye throughout the class and talk and be vulnerable, and as well as just share and joy. And then we also looked on a larger scale of across the world and with our environment and how we're living most sustainably and consciously with those things. Yes. And so throughout, we had, along with meeting on Wednesdays, we had 4 major events/trips that we took the class on, and 2 of those were fully planned out and organized and executed by Liz and Rain. So they're going to share about that.
Yeah, so this is my presentation day. I really wanted to set aside some more time to encourage the nature connection. So I also wanted to introduce the idea of bioregionality, as in orienting yourself based on like the natural world as opposed to state or even city lines. So I figured there was no better opportunity to explore other campus than this. So we went out with the Eco Village and we just walked around. I wanted to keep it sort of just kind of relaxed. We just did a wander and had a super great time just like checking out everything that the Rain had brought. It was really engaged. We had the field guides and it was cool. We started out with by calling out things that people already knew. So it was cool. Everybody had a lot to share about the natural world. It was great. We took a walk around and we finished with a snack at the Buddha Hut.
For my presentation, I chose to take us all on a field trip to Castle Rock State Park. The objective for me was also very nature-connected oriented, because I definitely believe that sustainability, whether personal sustainability or eco-sustainability, starts with the self and individuals. So I thought a fun way to do that would be through developing nature connection. What we did was we took a barefoot hike up to the top of Goat Rock, which is that bottom picture, and ended with this great Om circle. So that was like breaking the silence with this big, beautiful Om, and got to hear all the voices. So it was really nice. A lot of people were really interested along the way. And then another thing we did was rock climbing. So rock climbing is also another great way to create some nature connection, because you're touching rock. And I think the most difficult part in all of that for me was really lesson planning and putting it all together, organized on paper. Then we also had another trip that Juliet will explain.
So we were also super lucky to be able to go to the Pioneers Conference under the student scholarship that was facilitated through the Common Ground Center. And a group of us went out there and we camped, and we just got to see some incredible speakers talking on awesome and really crucial components that in relation to environmental justice, social justice, feminism, gender, indigenous rights, just so many life-changing lectures. As you can see, there was this huge, beautiful lecture hall. And then besides just going to these lectures, after the lectures were over, we would have these awesome workshops and discussions and interactive ways of connecting with the people who we were hearing in those lectures. And it was an incredible experience. And we also it was our first trip together, and we got a bond and did some yoga and lots of laughs and dancing, and it was great. And our last trip was something that we just did this last weekend, and it was super fun, and that trip we planned as a group. So I kind of did Pioneers, and we had the Upper Campus Rock and Castle Rock, and then we all brought our minds together after getting used to each other's facilitation and finding out what we felt our group likes, and we planned out this camping trip in Big Basin, which is local here. So part of the class is also sharing the sustainable resources and nature connection resources here on campus as well in the near local community. And so we went there, and as you can see, it was just silly. It was really fun and blast. It was more of a retreat. We did a lot of natural history, and we also had s'mores, and we were warming up our butts around the fire right there. And just found all kinds of great things and did some closing activities to bring this awesome quarter that we shared to a closing.
So yeah, overall, I definitely, this CAD was such a hugely important learning experience for me. This was the first time that I had been able to really plan out a full day, and that I had been given the resources to, know how to approach that. Yeah, it was cool. I definitely noticed a change in myself from the upper campus hike that I led, and then bringing it back into Big Basin. I could feel a lot of growth. It was great.
One thing we didn't touch on that I really benefited from was nonviolent communication. Was one of the things that we talked about that really helped me with facilitation, and also just talking with other people around me and roommates and stuff. And I know that's something that we talked about in class, but I learned a lot from that, and empathetic listening. But like I said, it was really hard for me to learn how to write a lesson plan and organize those things. I think I learned a lot, especially because I teach yoga, so that was another way for me to think about organizing a class. So it was really helpful, and I learned so much. It was great. Thank you.
Just to wrap it up, I'm just so proud and super grateful of both these amazing, empowered women, and they brought so much support and inspiration, I think, to everyone in the class. And yeah, we just had a blast this quarter, and I feel like it was a collaborative learning journey the entire time, where we were all learning from each other, learning from everyone in the Sustainable Community class as well. And I just feel really grateful for all the resources we do have here on campus and around campus, and that we had this group that could come together and learn and share. And so I look forward to this continuing for the Eco Village. This was my senior project, this class, and I wanted to keep going. So if you're interested in getting involved in any way, please come reach out to me, and I'll let you know how you can do that. So thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Zoe, and I am working with Take Back the Tap through the Food and Water Watch Hub. This is my third year working with Take Back the Tap, and the first time working with the Food and Water Watch Hub because it was created this year. I was first drawn to working with Take Back the Tap because I thought single-use plastic water bottles were silly, and I thought that it was a waste of plastic, and I didn't even think about the contents inside the plastic bottle. So I started working with a fabulous woman named Rebecca and a wonderful person named Adriana, who I live with now. And I just learned so much about social justice and what our natural resources actually mean in a capitalized economy. And I've also learned a lot about facilitation. So now this year, we're part of a larger organization, the Food and Water Watch, which hosts the Take Back the Tap campaign. And I've gotten the chance to work with David, Rosas, and Tristan, and a couple other people in the class too. And it's been a really awesome experience.
Hey guys, my name's David. I'm also one of the co-coordinators for Take Back the Tap, and helped co-establish the Food and Water Watch Hub this summer. And we were able to get one of the major issues was anti-fracking, which Tristan took interest in, and he'll be able to talk a little bit about that. I just wanted to talk about why I got involved, because I am majorly enthusiastic towards Take Back the Tap's goals, as well as anti-fracking. But Take Back the Tap is a major issue of mine, which, well, the things involved with it are an issue, not the organization itself. But basically this year, something I really wanted to get done was get all plastic single-use water bottles banned from campus by the end of this academic year. It's a big goal, I understand, but the reason why I wanted to do it is because I wanted to really do something that was tangible and that fought against social justice issues, environmental issues, and turns out even financial issues. And it was presented to me, and I was able to take it. I'm glad I did, and it really lets you make a difference that you can physically see, and you get to learn about so many great organizations through accomplishing your own goals and sustainability. So that's a great thing too.
Hey, I'm Tristan. I've been working on the anti-fracking campaign with Food and Water Watch. I decided to join up with Food and Water Watch because I thought it would be a great way to like get involved and like do some good, make some change, you know, on campus. Yeah. One of the things I did this quarter was I went on a field trip down to San Benito County to try to canvass for Measure J, which would ban fracking in San Benito County. Fracking, if you don't know, it's a way of extracting natural gas from the ground where they like pump a bunch of like fluids and chemicals and bad stuff into the ground and break up the bedrock and try to release like methane and other natural gases and stuff. Measure J, like I said, would ban it in San Benito, and so I went around canvassing, which is like you go door to door and try to like see like what the public is thinking about this issue. Like you try to get like you try to convince undecideds and opposition, and just like try to get a feel for what people are voting in that area. And it worked because Measure J passed this last election. Now it's the second county besides Santa Cruz, the first. Yeah. And so yeah, it passed and it worked out and it was a great experience. I learned a lot and it was cool going out and doing actual work. And then another thing I did, I designed a few posters. That's one of them up there. I posted them around campus to try to like spread awareness about the issue of fracking. Because it was a good idea, I think, because like I said, fracking is already banned in Santa Cruz County. So like talk about fracking at Thanksgiving. So hopefully people will like think about that issue and maybe bring it up at like Thanksgiving dinner in like an area where fracking isn't already banned, and maybe like get people thinking about that. So yeah, posted those around campus and it was pretty cool. Yeah. So at the top it says, talk about fracking at Thanksgiving, and the dad's like, so Billy, what did you learn this quarter? And Billy's like, well, Father, I learned fracking releases carcinogens into the air and water. And then little Susie's over there like, I heard it also has been linked to earthquakes as high as 5.3. And then Mom's like, well, damn, let's cut that crap out.
I just want to point out Sarah, who's in the crowd, who also was a huge proponent in that campaign too, just coming up with the ideas. So I tabled with Take Back the Tap and at a water justice open mic night that was coordinated through Procurement Community Agroecology. So through this organization this year, we've gotten to connect with a lot of different organizations who have crazy acronyms all over campus. And that was a really fun experience. The Love Foundation also tabled there, and they got to talk about their organization, and a bunch of students went up and read some poetry. One of my mentors, Mira Michelle, read some poetry that was really inspiring. And it was just really cool to see RAs and other students be brought out, and just got to learn about our organization. David and I got to stand up in front of a relatively large group of people and talk about what we do. And I think it was like a really good experience for me in continuing my talking in front of people skills, because I don't always get these opportunities to share what I do and share what I'm passionate about. So that was a really good thing to do. And then later, I think the next day actually, Tristan and I went to practical activism at College 910, and we tabled about the Food and Water Watch Hub as a whole. And so that was a new experience for me, because this year is the first year that the Food and Water Watch has existed. So it was kind of interesting to hear people's responses to this new organization on our campus. And a lot of people were really excited about the anti-fracking campaign, which was really exciting. One of the students came up and said, oh, my uncle just created a documentary about fracking where he's from, and so we were trying to connect with her to show that documentary. Maybe that'll happen next quarter. And we got a couple pages of signatures of students who are in support of banning single-use water bottles on our campus. And then we also got to learn about a bunch of different organizations that are doing really awesome things on campus. People and students who just are really active, and that's why we chose to do our whole theme as social and environmental justice in action.
Okay, so I'll speak to what I did this quarter, and one of the things I did, as you see back there, show of hands, does anybody, who knows who the SUA is? Okay, that is actually, okay, that's pretty good. Well, you should know because it stands for the Student Union Assembly. They're your representatives. Everything, they stand for the student body, and they talk about what they want to do for the students, and they're a great fighter in many issues. So I decided, I emailed the chair over the summer, and I was like, hey, I want to get this done, banning plastic water bottles on campus. How do I do that? He was like, write a resolution. And there's actually a fossil-free divestment one that got passed last year. So it's great because it really, if you get the SUA to pass it, then they, as the representation of the student board, it was a big step for us. So as you can see, it's up there. You can't read it, and I'm not going to try to read it. But it was a great opportunity because it allowed me to do more research on the issue and put it in a different perspective, which is your guys' perspective. From the student's perspective, what that involves, who's using the water bottles, how much it costs, things like that. And it was a great find, and some great things were discovered, and we brought in a good portion of us in Take Back the Tap went and presented to the SUA, which is great because we got to meet people that had general concerns about, like what does that future look like, and we were able to address those concerns. And it was great to meet people who were all for it and gain new allies. And so it did get passed this quarter, which is a great thing for us and moving towards that. And something else I'd like to talk about is what we also are trying to do is get every organization on campus to sign on to a coalition to have bottled water free events. So not only, sorry if I didn't say it before, but not only are we trying to get the sale in stores to stop selling plastic water bottles, we're trying to get organizations to hold bottled water free events, and that will get the full ban because ultimately you guys go to different organizations and participate in different things, and that it is a way to change the culture on campus and make reusable bottles more accessible and things like that. So every organization that you see on top of here is an organization that has signed on. I know there's hundreds of organizations, so we got a long way to go, but we started with a good base. We even got to collaborate with some of them, like the Love Foundation, and there will be future collaboration with others throughout the quarter. And it was just great to meet these people because they have their own goals, and you'd be surprised how much they align with ours. And we were all just able to work together and talk, and everybody's really happy about it. They're like, yay, bottled waters, let's get rid of them. And that's been done a lot of the ways already on campus. We just want to make it official. So that being said, next slide is what's next. One of the things I wanted to say before I give it to Zoe is that this is a year-long thing. Like we said, our ultimate goal is by the end of this academic year. That requires a lot more coalition signs on a lot more petition signings, which I didn't talk about too much. We do have an online petition that we're trying to get advertised to tell people. So definitely we'll try to spread that, and if you hear it, spread it, because it all starts with you guys. Do you want to talk to any more?
I just wanted to say thank you, and if you want to get involved, come and talk with any of us. We'll be meeting next quarter, but we haven't decided when that will be.
Also, sorry, one more thing. Tristan, I don't know if you want to speak on behalf of anti-fracking, so to keep going, by the way, it's going to go strong. So if you still want to pursue that fight or any other fight, the Food and Water Watch, that's revolved around food and water and sustainability in that sense, please come talk to us. Again, we don't have a meeting set up, but we definitely can use a lot of people. So thanks, guys.
My cat is a Sierra Club, and I'm the only one in it. Melissa is the leader, and she couldn't be here because she's doing a faculty retreat in Monterey today. So here I am. I'll start with a little bit about the Sierra Club. I'm working directly with just the Santa Cruz group. It's the largest and oldest environmental organization. And its mission is to explore, enjoy, and protect natural places. So I think those are all things we all wish to do. So some of the things we tried to do together were initiatives on that. We did some tabling events, and we did some learning things as well, and then I wrote some articles. Sorry, I'm nervous if you guys can't tell. One of the first things we did was we flyered for the candidates, the city council candidates that were endorsed by the Sierra Club. So those were Lainey Sherman and Bruce Van Allen. And unfortunately, neither of those won, but we did what we could to support them. The second thing that we did together was we tabled at the Fall Harvest Festival. So I have some pictures from that here. You guys probably can't see those too well. But we had a whiteboard and we asked people to write down places that they like to explore, enjoy, and protect. And so that was a really fun activity. I've got some cool pictures here. I think one of these people is in the class. Yeah, right there. She did it. And we were giving them tattoos as well, temporary tattoos. And that was a really fun activity. That was my first time going to the farm. So I really enjoyed. This is my first quarter here at UCSC. So doing this CAT was a great way to get my foot in the door with environmental activism. I'm an environmental studies major. So my community action team was awesome. Another thing that we did was we collaborated with the World Cafe to do a World Cafe on saving up our campus. So we worked with the forest keepers for that. We did some planning things. And it was great. I helped cook. It was fun. We had some good conversation. And Kat is his name, from Forest Keepers, did a presentation on all about saving up our campus and what needs to be done there. So this is kind of that page. Although you guys probably can't see it too well. I've got a flyer there. And there's a petition for that, so you guys should all sign it. It's really important that we protect the forest that lies behind campus because the university wants to tear it down and make more schools. There's obviously benefits to it, but I don't think it's worth it. So the Sierra Club focuses a lot on energy initiatives, and that leads me into one of the biggest things that I was able to get involved with through this CAT, which was the fossil-free movement. And I went to the meeting because Melissa said, hey, there's a meeting, you should go, you can count it towards your hours for your CAT. It was like 3 people, and I had no idea what was going on, but the university has $3 billion invested in the fossil fuels. So, we claim to be a sustainable university, but with $3 billion invested in and profiting off of fossil fuels, I think not. So the fossil-free movement is about changing that. We're asking the regents to divest and reinvest in sustainable solutions, and it's really important that we do that. I wrote an article about it, and it was posted on the Sierra Club's website. So that was a really cool process for me to be able to do. By going to the meetings and then doing my own research on the movement, I wrote like a 4-page article, edited it with all the peers that I knew that were involved in it. And that's right here. But obviously you guys cannot see that, but I brought it. And then that's what I also focused my midterm paper on. So it was a cool project. I felt it was really beneficial for me as an environmental studies major to get a practical idea of what I could be doing for a job. So this CAT really helped me with that kind of thing. What else? So let's see. The Fall Harvest Festival was really cool. What else do I have on here? The midterm paper. Oh, the Climate Change Roundtable. Another tabling event we did was we tabled at the Climate Change Roundtable. It was up at College 910. Did any of you go to that? Nobody? Okay, it was really awesome. There were some really great speakers. I learned a lot. It was a lot more of a learning experience, even though we were tabling at it. You would think we would be like like sharing and telling people about the Sierra Club. But Jeff Burry, Andy Saws, and another woman who I don't remember her name because she wasn't associated with the university, but she was actually a member of a tribe from Alaska. They all spoke about climate change and had some really interesting things to say. So I'm really glad that I attended that because I definitely learned a lot. And even though I was sitting there at a table, I felt like the naive one in the room. So that happens a lot. I was also able to attend some of the Sierra Club Santa Cruz County Executive Committee meetings as well as the Conservation Committee meetings. And it was interesting because there's not that many people and they're all pretty old. So I was definitely the youngest one in the room. And it's very structured, the way they hold their meetings. It's kind of like a governmental organization. It's interesting. They vote on things where they all say A or no. So that was interesting. I learned a lot. There was a lot that I felt left out of, but it was a learning experience to attend those meetings and build those connections. So that was a great experience for me. And most recently, I went to the Conservation Committee meeting and I presented to them about fossil-free UC. So I was even more nervous than I am talking to you guys because it was a group of people who know everything to know about conservation, and I'm just this naive person who it's my first quarter here at UCSC because I'm a transfer student. Trying to tell them what we can do to save the earth, but they're already doing everything possible. So anyways, it's a really great organization. I feel very thankful for this class because it was an awesome opportunity and I learned a lot, and I think it's all beneficial things for my future. And speaking of which, I'm still working on stuff for the CAT. It's not done, so I just read an article about the consumeristic tendencies of the holidays and how I think that we should all rethink regifting and maybe sometimes not even ask for gifts, because depending on the gift, it could be the better choice. Just maybe change the way that we view the gifting tradition of the holidays. So hopefully that article will be posted on the Sierra Club Santa Cruz website soon. We also have a Facebook page, and I was able to become a part of that. So I now do some of the posts for that, so that's really cool because that's another social media type thing. Outreach for environmentalism that I was able to start doing. So that's cool. I've been able to read lots of articles that I probably wouldn't have read just so that I could post them to the page, and read a few sentences, but I'm learning. You know, that's I think the biggest part is that what I'm getting out of this is I'm learning a lot, and I'm learning things that I wouldn't be learning in a different class where I'm just sitting and listening to a lecture. I'm like getting out there and doing hands-on things. So it's really interesting. Really exciting. I'm also going to be continuing my work with the Sierra Club and doing it as a 2-unit internship through the Environmental Studies Department next quarter. So I'm really excited about that. This class has helped me with all of that. What's my time? Half, okay. Let's see.
You good.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
What are you learning about intergenerational collaboration with these older Sierra Club members?
Yeah, so that's really interesting. The thing is, I haven't been working too much directly with them. It's interesting because it's just me and then Melissa primarily with this group. Every different little thing we've done has had a different group of people join us to support. So we've been able to, I guess, collaborate with different people in different ways and take advantages from every side. So at the Fall Harvest Festival, we did have a member of the Sierra Club, an older woman, sitting with us, and I was able to, talk to her about different things and just connect. I've always been able to connect with older people because I'm an only child, and I've always just been used to my parents and hanging out with their friends, which is kind of weird, but talking to them on a kind of level where you guys are on the same level. Didn't quite get that sentence out right, but talking to them as your peers, and I think can be beneficial. I guess that's what I got out of that. Although I do feel naive when I'm talking to those people at the Sierra Club, we all have a lot to share, and we all have a lot to learn. So I guess not only can I learn a lot from them, but I think that they can learn some things from me. And it was helpful because of the fossil-free divestment campaign. The university has had a couple divestment campaigns before, and they were successful. And with the apartheid divestment, Jillian of the Sierra Club was going to UC at the time, and so she was able to share a little bit about how that went, and that's really interesting and beneficial for our campaign, and I look forward to hearing more about it because I didn't get to hear as much as I would have liked to about it.
Thank you to everybody that shared before me. We got an awesome cats, and I'm also the only person in my cat run by Melissa Ott, who is a People Power intern, UCSC alumni, and works in the sustainability office. So a little bit about me. I'm a fourth-year student. I'm also an avid cyclist, and so transportation, the People Power cat is, I can relate to that. People Power, their mission statement is to improve quality of life in Santa Cruz by promoting cycling and other forms of sustainable transportation. And so that's what turned me on to this. So what we did, what we're currently in the process of creating and implementing is a program, the Hotel Bike Loan Program. So we have 3 main goals for this program. First is to provide visitors to Santa Cruz with an active and sustainable transportation option of cycling. Second is to reduce carbon emissions. And third is to work towards the city and climate action program's goal of doubling bike ridership by 2020. All right, so what is the program? Hotel Bike Loan Program, it's exactly as it sounds. We're setting up free motorbikes to 10 hotels in the city. We're going to include accessories, and what our goal is to have these bikes available to use for guests of the hotels in order to promote them cycling instead of using public transportation or driving. So we have 10 hotel sites that we're going to be starting with, 4 bikes per hotel, and then we'll include accessories like helmets, locks, lights, bells, baskets. We'll also be creating a map with locations, local businesses and attractions around the city, and safe routes to those locations. All right, so some visions for the program. Again, there are 4 bikes per hotel, so the bikes are going to be primarily beach cruisers. So this is a picture from a Colorado hotel with a similar program. And this one's actually from Bayfront Inn, which is downtown and has a bike loan program already implemented, and we're working with them to integrate them into our program. All right, the team, who's working on this program? I am volunteering with People Power, and from People Power is Amelia Conlon, who's the director, and Melissa Ott. And we're also working with Climate Action Program, which is a program within the city planning and community development department, and their goal is to lead the region in mitigating the effects of climate change. So from there, we're working with Tiffany Wise-West, who's the assistant coordinator of the program. All right, so we have 4 steps to this project. Step 1 is hotel outreach, which is the step that we're currently in process. This is going to take place, we're estimating from when we started the program from November, beginning of November, and it'll take place through February. We're again aiming to get 10 hotels on board. Right now we have about 7 or 8. 2 of those hotels already have bike loan programs that are implemented, and we're working with them to integrate. And so those 2 are Bayfront Inn and Pacific Blue Inn, and the other hotels listed are just some of the hotels that we already have on board. So step 2 is equipment procurement. So this would be getting the bikes, getting the accessories. So this will take place from February after the hotel outreach to about April. We're looking to secure discounted or donated equipment. So we're working with Bike Church downtown, which is associated with People Power. We're also working with Bicycle Trip to get discounted beach cruisers, and Gyro and Bell for accessories, and Blackburn for pumps. All right, step 3, map design and production. So here we'll be coordinating with the UCSC Scissor Lab. This is we're going to be working to create the tourist bike map, and they already have a very neat design map on the website. And so we're going to be approaching different local businesses and agencies and putting those attractions on the site. Those locations on the map. So certain attractions that we'll be putting on is the boardwalk, the pier, West Cliff, natural bridges, the surfing museum, and then we'll be advertising local cafes, restaurants, and other businesses on the map. All right, so step 4, the most exciting part, is the program launch, which we'll hope to take place in June, beginning of the summer, peak of tourist season. So this will involve delivering the bikes, the accessories, the maps, the promotional materials to the hotels. We'll be working with the hotel staff on training for maintenance, and one way to track our progress in working towards the goal of reducing carbon emissions is we will be collecting data sheets based on number of trips and trip distances. So how we're going to determine this success is we have a reduced emissions calculator. So we calculated, we have 4 bikes for 10 hotels. We're estimating about 2 trips per day per bike. That's about 80 trips a day. We're estimating about 3 miles round trip. About half the year they're going to be used, so 180 days. This is 43,200 miles on average cycled instead of driven or bused. This saves about 2,000 gallons of gas, which is equivalent to over 17 tons of CO2. So the way that we're going to fund this program, it's a pretty big project, is we're currently in the application. We're currently in the application stage of applying to the UCSC Carbon Fund grant. So we're asking for $21,000 from them, and we were fortunate enough to be accepted into the second round of the application. So we've accomplished the first round, which is the abstract application. Also included will be matching funds, so staff time from Climate Action Program staff and UCSC Public Affairs, which we'll coordinate with for designing the map and the advertisements. So we'll be selling advertisement spots on the map for the local businesses and that'll be estimated at $6,000. We also are estimating $2,000 worth of donated helmets, and so the total will be $35,000. All right, so what's been accomplished so far? So once again, we've made it to round 2 of the application process for the grant. We've also been working on hotel outreach. We'll continue to do that, but have accomplished a great deal. We've gotten 7 or 8 hotels on board already. So what's left for the future? So I plan to continue working on this project. I want to see it through. And so for those that are currently involved, as well as if there are future CAT members, what they'd be working on is continued application process of the Carbon Fund grant. Also outreach to the local businesses that we want to get on board. Promoting the program, and continued coordination with the hotels and the program managers. And then, I mean, it's a big project, and we're looking to expand, get more hotels, more bikes, and yeah, accomplish our goals. All right, thank you.